Hello and welcome to Motorcycle Ways. Today I'm going to be adjusting the chain on my Honda CB500X. This is a job that needs to be done quite regularly, depending on the terrain that you're on. If you do a lot of off-road or rough road riding, or you're into harsh acceleration or deceleration, then your chain will become slack more frequently and needs to be done regularly. So let's get the tools together and let's get started. So now I've just removed my top box and side panniers here from the bike, just to make it that bit easier for room around it. And I've put some tools together, basic tools needed for this job. 10mm spanner, 12mm spanner, 19mm spanner and a 24mm spanner, and a tape measure. That's all you need to complete this job. So relatively easy to do it at home. So depending on the type of bike you have will determine how you check the chain. So Honda recommends that with the CB500X you check the tension while it's on the side stand, as we've doing here. So the tension for the Honda CB500X is between 30 and 40 millimeters, or 1.2 to 1.6 inches. So the sweet spot there is 35 millimeters, or 1 3/8 of an inch. So we'll aim for somewhere around there. But first of all, we'll check the tension here and see exactly what we've got. Okay, so to measure the chain, you measure in the center, halfway between the rear sprocket and the front sprocket. So I've measured up, and that point is just here where they have the sticker well placed. And we'll take a measurement then from the center of the pins here. So moving our chain up and down, we can see there is slack in it. It's hitting off the slider there at the bottom, the chain slider. So we'll get our measuring tape and I'll push up our tape, and we'll just get 2 fingers and pull down on the chain. And we can see that's measuring 2 inches there, or 50 millimeters. And we'll move it back up. That's measuring just less than half an inch, or 10 millimeters, slightly less. So that is over 1.5 inches, or over 40 millimeters of slack there. So that's just outside the tolerance, really. So it does need adjusting. It needs to be tightened up. So we'll go ahead and do that. Enough, I have a center stand on this bike. So in order to adjust the chain, I'm going to place the bike on the center stand and start from there. So on the left hand side, we've got a 19mm bolt. I'm going to place the spanner on, and over on the right, we've got a 24mm to loosen the nut. So now, let's get that nut loose. Oh, that's tight. So now that's well slackened off. So we have a lock nut here and an adjuster bolt here. So we'll start by opening the lock nut. So to make the necessary adjustments here, We're going to hold the adjusting bolt, stop it from moving with the 10mm spanner, and we'll open the lock nut like so. And we can then spin the lock nut back a bit. And we can see our tabs here for adjustment markers. That we can move it slowly back either side, maybe half a turn at a time. And we line it up with these tabs then, that they're both lined up the same on each side. So that'll keep our wheel in alignment and the chain straight. So if the wheel is not lined up perfectly or near perfect afterwards, then the chain won't be running evenly on the sprocket and you'll get excessive wear on the chain of sprocket. So now we'll just open this side the same. So now to move it back, we'll just adjust our adjustment bolt back half a turn at a time. And we'll check the far side. I will adjust the side back half a turn as well. Thereabouts. And we'll check our alignment now and check the chain for tension. We can see that it's on 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth notch there. Level with that. So we can check that to the far side. And then so now I'm just going to run in this lock nut there by hand for a minute. I've adjusted on both sides now, and we can see there, it's on the left hand side, that we're 1, 2, 3, 4 notches in line with this edge here. 4 notches in, so I'll just check the far side and see. We can zoom in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 notches in line with that edge as well. So it's important to get it level, so your wheel will be level when all is tightened up and it's running in a straight line, and your chain runs in a straight line. There is a tool you can get to put on the chain, an alignment tool to line up the chain. I don't happen to have one. But going with them notches, and as well as that, you have to eyeball it, and you could measure here at your swing arm, between your swing arm and your wheel either side, to see that that is also right measurements, equal measurements either side, to get it right. So now that we've that done, we'll nip up the axle bolt for the time being, and we'll let it down on the side stand and check the chain tension again to see that it's right. So I'm just going to nip up this, not too tight yet, but enough to hold it in place. Just to do our measurements, and we can torque them later. So now the bike is back down on the side stand again. So let's check our chain tension to see where we're at. So check it at the same place again. And pushing up on the chain, we have 1/2 inch there to the center pin. And down the way, we have 1 3/4 inches. Is that right? 1 3/4 inches, yeah. So that leaves 1 1/4 play, which is fine because 1.2 to 1.6 is the spec, so we're within tolerance there. And in millimeters, if we just check it in millimeters, we have 15 mil on the top and about 48 mil on the bottom, so that's about 33 millimeters. So that's fine. That's perfect. I'm happy with that. So now, last thing left to do is to torque the rear wheel. So it's torqued to 65 foot-pounds or 88 Newton meters. So I'm just going to set my torque wrench here. To 65. I don't know, can you see that there? Foot-pounds, 88 Newton meters. So that's it, torque to specifications. Just going to double check to see that these nuts are tight. That's good. Check the far one. That's that one. That's everything tight and back together. I'm just going to move the bike back and forth and check the chain one more time. So one final check then on the chain. You can see that's 1/2 inch top side and 1 3/4 inches on the bottom. So that's perfect. 1 1/4 inch plate. Perfect. So happy with that. So there we have the chain adjustment on the Honda CB 500X. So it is a job you can do at home. You just need basic tools, apart from the torque spanner really, but you could manage without that if you had to. It can be frustrating the first few times if you're not used to it, to take down the bike from the center stand down to the side stand to check the tension, and if it's not right you might have to put it back up again and so on. So it can be a little frustrating like that if you're not used to it, but you will get the hang of it after a while. It's a job worth knowing how to do. And the torque spanner, you could manage without it if you had to. I would say if you got stuck out on the road or a puncture or that and you had to take off the back wheel anyways, you would have to manage without a torque spanner. So it's no harm to get to the feel of what tightness the bolts should be and all that. So the importance of keeping the chain adjusted is for safety reasons. If the chain came too loose, it could come off and cause an accident. So that'd be the worst scenario. But as well as that, it's important to keep it clean and lubricated as well. I've just recently done a video on that. I'll leave a link to it below, how to clean and lubricate the chain properly. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.